Good morning and thank you for joining us today as we examine one of the most pressing environmental challenges of our time, global carbon dioxide emissions. Today, we'll explore the latest data from the world's most comprehensive emissions databases and understand what these numbers mean for our planet's future. This presentation draws on the newest releases from EDGAR and the International Energy Agency to give you a clear, policy-relevant picture. We will cover the current state of emissions, long-term trends, regional differences, sectoral drivers, and the actions the data demands. Throughout, we will reference the latest data sets so you can base decisions on robust, transparent evidence. Let us begin with the current state. The numbers are stark and undeniable. What follows is a concise, data-first overview aimed at guiding policy interventions. The numbers are stark and undeniable. According to the latest data from the International Energy Agency, global energy-related CO2 emissions grew by 1.1% in 2023, increasing 410 million tons to reach a new record high of 37.4 billion tons. The upward trend in recent years is clear on the global timeline. Looking ahead to 2024, projections indicate total carbon dioxide emissions are projected to be 41.6 billion tons, up from 40.6 billion tons last year. This includes fossil CO2 emissions of 37.4 billion tons, with the remainder from land use change. These figures are not just statistics, they show a trajectory that demands immediate global attention. Emissions arise from energy systems, industry, transport, and land use, each contributing to the total burden. Understanding which sectors drive growth is essential for targeted policy. To understand the data behind these totals, we turn to EDGAR, the emissions database for global atmospheric research. The Emissions Database for Global Atmospheric Research, or EDGAR, provides the most comprehensive picture of global emissions. The newest EDGAR GHG database release, EDGAR_2024_GHG, covers 1970 to 2023 and is now publicly available. EDGAR gives a sector-by-sector breakdown and consistent global coverage, vital for cross-country comparisons. EDGAR is a collaboration between the European Commission's Joint Research Center and the International Energy Agency to harmonize fossil fuel CO2 estimates. This harmonization enhances methodological consistency, which improves reliability for policymaking. EDGAR shows good agreement with plant-level inventories, reinforcing confidence in national-level estimates. These data are used for international negotiations, national policy design, and transparent monitoring. The long historical span allows us to place current emissions in a multi-decade context. Next, we look at the long-term perspective and regional differences that shape policy choices. Annual global carbon dioxide emissions have increased by more than 60% since 1990, and are now at their highest ever levels. This rise coincides with rapid industrialization, population growth, and expanded energy consumption worldwide. China alone accounts for 35% of global CO2 emissions. Advanced economies had per capita emissions about 70% higher than the global average in 2023. India's per capita emissions remain less than half the global average, around 2 tons per person. These differences highlight complex equity considerations. Development needs and historical responsibility both matter. Despite global increases, advanced economies saw record decreases in 2023, showing decarbonization is possible. In the EU 27, all sectors fell in 2023. The power industry dropped by 20.1%, demonstrating rapid change with policy support. Understanding sectors and atmospheric concentrations clarifies why these changes matter for climate outcomes. The emissions we produce do not disappear. They accumulate in our atmosphere. At Mauna Loa Observatory, the 2024 annual average carbon dioxide was 424.61 parts per million. A new record. This concentration is the highest in human history and continues to drive global warming. Emissions from coal accounted for more than 65% of the increase in 2023, highlighting continued reliance on the most carbon-intensive fuel. Industry, transport, and land use change remain significant contributors requiring sector-specific strategies. At the same time, clean energy growth has limited the rise in emissions. Without renewables, the increase would have been much larger. The rapid expansion of solar, wind, and other clean technologies is already curbing emission growth. Policy-driven deployment of clean energy remains one of the most effective levers to bend the curve downward. Next, we turn to the actions the data demands, clear steps that policymakers can take now. The evidence before us is clear and compelling. We are living through a critical moment in human history. Our emission choices will determine the climate future for generations to come. 1. Immediate acceleration of clean energy deployment. The data shows renewables are already limiting emission growth. We must scale this up dramatically. 2. Rapid phase-out of coal power. With coal driving most emission increases, transitioning to cleaner alternatives is essential. 3. International cooperation on technology transfer. Developed nations should support clean development pathways in emerging economies. 4. Enhanced monitoring and transparency. Databases like EDGAR provide the foundation for accountability and progress tracking. These actions are technically and economically feasible. The question is whether we act with the speed and scale the data demands. The latest EDGAR and IEA data provide an unprecedented understanding of global CO2 emissions. They show both the scale of the challenge and the pathways to solutions. The choice and the responsibility is ours. Thank you for your attention.